Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Krosh, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
Hello.
And Daniel Jang.
Have you ever had
Yeehaw!
And if you're not familiar with what we do, we drop the books.
Don't drop that. Dun-dun-dun.
We come to you every week on podcasting services of your choice. We sit around a table. Usually, last week we sat around many tables, and we have usually nerdy topics of nature, usually like comics, games, movies, anything in between, and we just have fun wherever we are, whenever we are, whoever we are. We're here, guys. How have you been?
Good.
What have you been up to?
Few things. First of all, I got
Another Switch.
power line router.
Yeah, I know what that is.
I don't know.
That's what I use to.
So,
Power line adapter.
remember? Uh-oh.
No, we're good. I couldn't get the sexy voice of James.
Remember when I bought Destiny on PC and I was complaining about
I remember that.
everything. So essentially, my Wi-Fi, I bought a magnificent Wi-Fi card, but it still will drop. It will just lose connection and then come back up, and it happens so fast.
This is before the power line.
Yeah, this is before the power line. I mean, technically, I haven't tried the power. I mean, I played with the power line already, and it's fine, but at least not Destiny. But so what was happening is my Wi-Fi was dropping and then coming back up, and it happened so fast, but it causes obviously the game to feel like it's laggy because the connection is terrible to the internet essentially. So Powerline is I literally have the router connected to an adapter that plugs into the outlet, and then it sends the internet through the outlet to a different outlet, and then I plug in another Ethernet to my computer.
It uses electrical.
Yeah.
wire to send-
Electrolytes?
Yes,
Okay.
they're in everything.
Okay.
Water the
I
plants
think
with
that's where you
electrolytes.
lost me. Okay.
So yeah, essentially I am physically wired to the router now,
Cool.
even though there's
Have you checked speed tests and stuff?
yeah,
Doing good?
getting better than I was with the Wi-Fi.
That's always good.
I didn't play Destiny, so I don't know. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, okay?
I know
like
that
you
that one is intense when it comes to internet. If you don't have a good connection, the game feels laggy. If maybe your PC just sucks, and maybe that's what's going on with me. So maybe now I can get back into it. Maybe. Hey, things are happening, dude. Maleficent.
Maleficent?
The Disney game is in. It's
The
now
Disney
Destiny.
gun is in Destiny. What else? What else did I do? That was it, actually.
Exciting.
What did I do? I mean, I pre-ordered Red Dead.
Okay.
I pre-ordered the one that took 10 years.
Black Ops?
No, Kingdom Hearts.
Oh. I thought you meant the space. How much space
No.
it would take up? Because I heard Black Ops is 100 gigs on a PS4.
Jeez.
That's
Red Dead is huge too.
Oh, maybe that's the one.
Red Dead is huge. That's what she said.
Yeah, yeah. What else? What else? There was bought games. I mean, I pre-ordered games.
Have you tried Mega Man by any chance?
Haven't tried it yet.
Okay. No, I was just curious what you thought on it, if you had.
I watched Jang stream last night. The
The Wild Wild West.
the
Stardew.
yeah, Stardew Valley or Darstu Darstu Valley.
I want to see you beat this in a day.
Oh my god.
And it
Just try.
it got me wanting to play it, So I reinstalled it on my computer, and as it took 2 seconds to install. As it was installing, I was like, he's playing it on his Switch. He could any moment he wants, he could pick it right back up with that suspend mode. And I was like, I can't do that. If I want to pause, I got to save the game, turn off the game, open back up my computer, turn on back up my computer. I was like, fuck this.
You know what's the big news of Stardew? It's coming out in mobile. $8.
Yeah. That's I think what I was trying to tell you. When you told me there's going to be online, I was like, there was something about this game that I remember.
And I'm not going to get it.
$8, dude.
Nah, dude.
$8.
On the phone, that's dangerous, dude.
Yeah, your phone will explode. It gets so hot. Dude.
Yeah, the battery.
Seriously, dude. There's a intensive heavy mobile game I was playing. The one from Nintendo, where they teamed up with Nintendo.
Dragalia?
Yeah,
Lost?
Dragonalia Lost. Holy crap, dude! 10 minutes and my phone was like burning hot, and then even if I turned it off, like it would still lose a couple of percentages of batteries.
You gotta be Bojan though, dude.
When number one, dude. Honestly, so I was ahead, and then the one reason I quit is I was like, yeah, dude, I'm killing it right now. And then he like, no, I looked the other day, and this guy was like level 80, and I'm like, I'm 25, and I can't even get past this. It's like it's ridiculous now. I'm like, screw it. I just uninstalled it. I haven't played it since. But yeah, that was way back when. Okay. It's been years, centuries now. Yeah, it's been a long
In
time.
human years.
In Darstu Valley years.
Jake, what have you been up to?
Tired.
Yeehaw!
I've been farming and farming.
How long ago did you start this game? It feels like it's
Like
only
a
been
week.
a week.
A week
huh?
and some change.
I think
A
the
week and some
issue
change.
is he said it on his stream is he'll stop streaming
Let's keep playing.
and keep playing.
Yep.
Yeah, well, yes, you were playing earlier when we were just having dinner.
You don't understand. I just got the ancient fruit. You don't understand.
Is this scratching that Animal Crossing itch, or is it a different itch entirely?
It's a different itch.
It's a different scratch you never realized
This
you
game is
needed.
dangerous. I was talking to one of my viewers, and like the person was saying, like, you just want to do one more day, and then one more day turns into another day, and it just never ends. Like just one more day. And I don't know. There's something about the game that's very oddly satisfying. I can't explain it. I think it's like I don't know what it is. Something is. In the beginning, I didn't like the game. I'm gonna be honest. I was.
How long
playing
did it take to hook you?
I think once you,
I don't know. A whole year had to go by.
within the game.
Dude, it's not. Oh,
I know.
okay.
That's within the game. That's
Within
a
the
long time. That's
okay.
probably like
In
3-4 days. Like, and I was just like, after the first year, and I started making. It's weird. It's kind of like a roguelike, but not really. Once you start getting better things, things get easier to do. And
do you think a full 24 hours in a day is a full year in the game, like actual hours?
No, it's like less than a year, 24. I don't know actually.
If it's 24 hours, I can beat it in one day. So just let you know.
Challenge accepted. But yeah, I don't know. It's oddly satisfying. I mean, like, it gets easier. Life gets so much easier. Like, I'm starting to make money.
I feel like you have efficient like routines that you start optimizing.
But it could be more efficient.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just got the
It's just like exponential. Like,
I just got the ancient seeds. There's an item in this game that's 10 million gold, and I've only made
Lifetime.
600,000, and this is 4 years in game. That's bad.
I'm excited for whenever you have your review, and we can do like a.
I mean, I could review it now.
I mean, you have your topic now.
He's like, all right.
I want it to be like Jang reviews, like how I did for Forsaken. I think.
Okay.
Like that. We can make it some. It'll be fun.
I watched the Pet Cemetery trailer.
movie already.
And did you watch it?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah.
It's very. You see, I think it only pays off if you know about the book, because there's
Well, I've
like
seen the
little,
original
like-
movie.
Oh.
Have you seen the original one?
No, I haven't.
You
Zelda.
You should watch it. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's. I mean, you think about like the concepts. I'm sure the book catches that even more. But like,
I have the movie. I'm
okay,
probably gonna watch it soon.
Oh, but you haven't watched.
I'll believe it. When
I feel like you
But-
own so many movies you haven't watched.
The ending. I've seen the ending to the movie. It's kind of different. It's the same but
you
different.
finished the book. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same but different. Like, I don't like how the movie ended it.
Okay.
Because in the book it kind of leaves it open ended.
Okay.
So good stuff, dude. Stephen King.
He's a good guy.
You said in the trailer you hated that it didn't show, like, certain things that the book, like, pretty
Like,
much it is based around. But I think that's a good thing. Like, they did it. It's tough to pull a trailer the way they did, where it doesn't spoil literally anything at all. And yet you're still like, it still shows, something that you're like, I need to see this, like, or I want to see more. I thought it was going to just go full blown, like, this happens, this is the result,
I think it's a teaser, And that's why it's not really like the thing that threw me off. John Lithgow's character, Judd Crandall, he's Southern, and I think in the movie the original movie he's Southern. So when he was talking normally, I was like, this is freaking.
I'm sure they tweak some stuff.
But
Do you think they'll have more trailers where
they're
they
gonna
do show?
They have to show it because it's.
I think there'll be like a big trailer, like, oh my god, this is the first time. Like sort of like
Dun,
with it. I think there was like the first trailer where it's like you don't see them, but you're like led to, and then they showed a trailer later. You're like, oh my god.
The thing I didn't like about the trailer is I wanted it. I mean, it's gonna reveal the story, but I wanted the trailer to show the movie. If your son died, would you bring him back to life? And ask that question, and it didn't do that. So I was just like, I mean, it's a teaser, but I think the next trailer they're gonna say, if someone you love died, would you bring him back to life?
Excuse me, sir. Do you want to do trailers?
This is the thing that I would. I mean, again, it's a case of how they do it more than like what they do. A lot of times, like I would take Black Mirror as an example. They often pose a premise, and you don't know the full scale of the potential of like whatever that premise is until you're in the episode. So like the premise will be like, here's a Star Trek Black Mirror episode, and then you go in like, this is the potential with that and like what that could mean. And so like I feel like what you're asking, like, would you bring? I feel like that's a potential of like, hey, this is just a Pet Sematary that's already kind of creepy. Let's unravel that. Maybe their approach is either going to be we'll unravel it at a future trailer, or maybe their approach is like when people are in the movie, they'll be shown that. I could see that working too. Because if like it's like how many of your cards do you want to show? How soon? All that stuff.
Just to play off of that, I feel that is a good method when it's something fresh. But like this book has existed, a previous movie of it has existed, so it's not much that they're hiding.
I mean, how many people have seen that?
A lot of people actually.
They don't know. That's why it's being remade.
At least all the freaking coworkers I talked to about, they're like, "What is that? That looks dumb." I'm like,
They should have marketed it as Stephen King's scary. This and Salem's Lot is considered his scariest books. Like it's not even. I mean, it's considered scary, but it's not as scary as this. And Salem's Lot is considered scary. Salem's Lot is technically considered the scariest of all his books. But they should have marketed like Stephen King didn't want to finish this book. One book that Stephen King didn't want to finish, and that would have got people like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to see this.
Caught some tags.
clickbait.
Yes.
Top 10 scary things from Stephen King on BuzzFeed.
Pet Cemetery. Pet Cemetery. Pet
WatchMojo.com
Cemetery.
Is that anything?
That's it.
For me, finish Lord of the Rings. I don't know if I mentioned that last one.
And no, I'm just kidding.
We're not done yet, but we've been watching. We're in the middle of the 6th movie now of Harry Potter.
Damn.
Order of the Phoenix. Yeah.
You've already watched
no,
more
not
than
Order
I've
of the
watched.
Phoenix. Half-Blood Prince. Huh?
I've seen half of. No, I haven't seen Black Blood.
I don't know what you've seen. You like will say something from
So
like a
it's because
later
one I
and then
remember.
you say something from another one. I'm like, those are
Like,
on opposite ends. Of
The
this
biggest thing I
timeline.
remember is like I think it's a Goblet of Fire because they're fighting or they're doing a tournament.
Yeah, that's Goblet of Fire.
Okay, and then I feel like there might be other things I remember after that, like movie wise, but like I can't pinpoint if it's a movie after or before it. And I think Goblet of Fire is only like the third one. Fourth. Yeah, I mean I'm sure like it's either the fourth or the fifth is the max I've gotten. That's it.
Did you see Dumbledore and Voldemort fight?
Mm.
It was like an epic fight,
Mm.
like 1v1.
I don't recall it.
Okay. Did you see Voldemort in more than one movie, like full body?
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. You said Voldemort and Dumbledore?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, no. I thought you were
Then
saying
you haven't seen the film.
yeah. So yeah.
Okay. I love these movies. I forgot how much I love these movies. And it's interesting, like, looking back on them, because I shared a lot of my gripes with, like, Hogwarts, especially in the last podcast. But looking at these movies and just, like, seeing what they brought to it. Like, I already know that the material was there. There's a lot of things that they don't cover. But seeing what they do show, like, seeing certain characters brought to life, like, when they had a prior guy as the original cast for Dumbledore. The new guy, the one that came in, I think, at the third one, he brought a certain charisma to the role and authority to the role that I always look back on. I'm like, man, he's just like the Obi-Wan or the Yoda character, and he carries it so well. And many other characters too. You see how they bring the characters to life. But one thing I always think about with a lot of these movies, like I think of Lord of the Rings, I think of Game of Thrones, I think of Harry Potter. They're all adaptations, right? And you're like, okay, the books go into so much more detail. What do the movies offer that the books don't? And there's one thing I'm always like, the movies, whatever the adaptation is, has over the books. It's
Schools.
the music.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that iconic fucking music, like of Lord of the Rings or of Harry, like dun 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 dun. That didn't exist
And
until
but-
the movies,
yeah.
and I'm like, that's cool. Like, because that to me is so tied to it.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones, the dun 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 dun. Like, think of fans of that franchise wail before the show.
Which is funny because people could be talking about the book and someone will just like hum that, and you're like, that never existed.
Lord
you know?
of the Rings. Bum, bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum, da, 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 da. Yeah.
I don't remember,
All-
but sure.
Yeah, all these like just songs, and I'm like, damn, like Mortal Kombat is a game that I think of, and I'm like, that didn't exist until after the games.
And now you sing it.
Mortal
Kombat!
It's iconic. And I'm like, that's what I love about what movies can do or what TV can do, and I think of that constantly with this stuff. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I remember we briefly were toying with the idea of doing a topic about the rankings and stuff, and I had it ready, and I'm already changing it, like revisiting these movies.
The ranks.
Like which ones I enjoyed more? Because like when I was younger, I enjoyed certain ones more than others.
I changed my rank.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish these last few movies because when I
You're
first
just like Pet Sematary Mr. Glass.
when I first saw the 7th one, the part 1, I was very upset, but I blame that largely on marketing and advertisement. So anyway, so we've been watching those. I'm playing a lot on my Switch. I've gotten to the final boss on
Octopath?
into the breach.
Ooh.
Oh
yeah, yeah.
So there's ways to
Here's a tip.
I watched a fucking speed run, dude.
Here's a
15
tip.
minutes.
Here's a tip, dude. So play it on easy first.
That's what I did.
So you upgrade your pilot, then you can play on normal.
Fucking
you can change it?
cheaters.
He keeps.
I just wanted to experience the game. I'm
Fucking
like, what is this
cheaters.
game like? So I was like, I'm playing on easy. I was reading some like things to know or do going into this game. So I'm playing on easy, and I'm just like, I didn't even know these powers existed, and so now I'm exploring that. And then it's like once you've unlocked these other things, when you restart the game, they're permanently available now. So I'm like, oh, I feel like that opens the game up in a way I didn't even know was an option. And then I guess after you do so much, you're like, you can keep going and finish anything else, but you can automatically access the final level, and it'll scale to your current progress. So I was like, fuck
that's
it, I'll give it a try. And so I did it, and it's like you have to really think of longevity, because the biggest thing is that power grid. And I didn't think of that. I didn't realize how long it would go, and I lost. So I was like, whatever. I at least experienced whatever the final bits of the. I was like, this is fun. I like what this offered.
That's a game you really had to think. It's like chess.
100%.
You really had
so
to think.
Two things I didn't know until one of them I didn't know until you told me, which was you could redo a move. I didn't even know that was an option. And two, I didn't even know you could completely redo a move, because normally
only
it's like
once.
you can indefinitely reset moves as long as you don't do an action with those moves. But the other thing is you can only do this once per match, and it's reset a whole turn. Like you do like a mini time travel.
Oh.
And you just reset that whole turn. You're like, fuck, that didn't play out how I wanted. And you're like, I only can do this once. I need to do it now.
Oh, so like you would move, and then a bug would move and like destroy you, and you're like, fucking go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I accidentally hit myself, and all this shit happened. All this.
What's cool is when you make them do Three Stooges moves, like you make them hit each other.
It's super
Doink,
fun.
doink,
Like
doink,
I'll
doink.
smack one guy, he'll fall backward, and then he's in line for this guy, and I pinball him into that guy, and then they both die. And then this other guy is like ready to jump on the other guy when he goes off. He's like, oh shit. So it's been fun. Then Octopath Traveler, I got all my characters finally, and now I'm at a point where I was at a point where I was like, oh, I have this ability that makes me not have as many encounters. Great, this makes it so much easier to get everywhere. But now I'm really under level, because I need to there was one thing where it was like you need to steal something from this one person, and it doesn't give you an option to do anything else, but it tells you the percentage chance of it, and it was 15. I was like, what the fuck do you want me to do? And I didn't realize it was a level problem. So I kept doing it, and I would restart the level or my save, and then I would try it again, fail, restart, save. Because it doesn't give you any.
You only get one chance.
So you get 5 chances, and then he locks up.
Oh, okay.
So then you just have to reload your save. And I got through it, but then the next one was like 8%. I was like, nah, I don't know. Like I Googled it, and it's like, you got to level them up. I'm like, but it's making me use some characters. I'm like, I don't want to use you, but I guess I have to, whatever.
Right.
But it's fun. I really enjoy the game. And final thing on the Switch that I did is something that really pissed me off over this weekend. And I haven't raged this much. I decided to do the mod.
800 dash challenge.
No, I modded my controllers.
Only one.
Oh,
I attempted to mod both controllers,
Nice.
but I only got the left one. I wanted the D-pad
Okay.
on there because I was like, I want to play some more of these like platformers, and I was like, I want to do this. And I had the shells, so I don't know, for viewers you could see. So what happened was I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
No.
Katie's asleep.
Now you know what I went through.
Huh?
Now you know what I went
So
through.
you did both of them.
I did both.
Okay. So I'm going to explain a little bit of mine, and then I want to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
So I got the shells. These were the regular shells. These weren't I got a D-pad shell just for the left by itself after. I was like, I'll just use that one and save the other one, whatever. And I had my gray Joy-Cons. And then I got the toolkit, which was the tri-hex, and then some Phillips head and some other shit.
Mm-hmm.
I follow all the instructions, and I'm sitting in front of my computer, and then there's a shag carpet underneath. And then I have like the Gundam model mats where I can just like visibly everything's there. I had everything ordered, but I was in front of the computer. I'm watching these YouTubes. I'm like, okay, seems straightforward. Now to execute. So I'm like, all right, okay. Everything made sense. Like it was the instructions and like knowing where they were and how to do them, easy. The biggest pain in my fucking ass was these goddamn Phillips head screws. The Phillips head screws. They were like the size of like my nail. Like you've seen them.
Yeah.
And the first thing was like taking the battery covering off, and one of them, like the Phillips head that came with this Nintendo kit for this, just started. They wouldn't go, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like the other two went. I'm like, I haven't even started, and I'm having trouble. I'm like, why is? I don't want my trouble to be this. I'd rather my trouble be anything involving like the actual mod.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was this stupid screw, and I got so fucking frustrated. I just kept going. I was like, I think I got it, and it would move a little, but then it wouldn't, and I just like just.
Yes.
And I would like, and I just was dumb, and I was just like, ah!
And you stripped the shit out of it.
It just became a hole, and then I ripped the thing off. I just raged. I was like, I just want to see what's under it now.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, fuck it, scratch tonight. I had some Amazon credit. I ordered a right Joy-Con by itself. I was like, it's coming the next day. The right Joy-Con comes in. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, round two. It doesn't strip. I take my time. It's not stripping. But it's not moving. And I'm like, what? Why? And it was the exact same screw. It's like, don't let it get to you. It's getting me like bothered right now. And I just keep, and it's moving.
Yeah.
Like it is fully
Like the
moving,
screw is
but
moving.
it is not raising. And I'm like, it's stuck. It's something fucking like it was, the thread was fucked on the screw.
Reggie's looking at your webcam.
And so that one was fucked. And so I was like, I started like hitting the table with it. I was like, fuck this. I'm not putting it back together. It doesn't deserve it.
You pulled a Khabib.
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I'm moving on to the left one. But before I do, I started and I got that. I'm like way past. I make it past that part, and I was like, see, fucking this guy's got no problem. Why does that one got to be piece of shit?
You see this? This is what I want from you.
But then I get everything done, and I was like, that was easy. This little fucking screw on that one fucked me, and this is so easy. I'm like, God, so frustrated. So then I'm putting it back together, and these screws are like magnetic because you got to line them up, and the slightest pressure, they went in every fucking direction but in the hole.
Yeah.
I was like, I was about to have a mental breakdown.
You gotta
'cause
be
this
super
one
patient.
I was at it for half an hour on one of them. And then I said, fuck this screw that came with this stupid kit. I went to Home Depot, got like a set of precision. It worked first try.
Easiest try, yeah.
I was like, this piece of shit kit
Yeah.
that they...
Damn.
The Mario kit, or the Mario.
Whatever, the Nintendo kit.
Yeah.
Everything was easy out with that one. And I was like, I was like, part of me was like, I fucking did it. This is the other problem. So because they were fucking flipping in every direction, one of them, like, I took off to put on the table, and it bounced. And then it fell off the
Shag
table,
carpet.
and it just disappeared. Like it's not even this carpet. It was like gone, and I combed for like 10 minutes, nowhere. It just went.
Reggie.
So missing
And then I was like, wait, I got that right piece of shit. I salvaged that for parts. I started using screws for the same thing. I'm like, I'm glad I still have this piece of
Frankenstein.
So
you messed up 2 Joy-Cons is what you're telling me.
yeah, whatever. I got my D-pad on.
Wow.
I got
I thought I had it bad.
You got 2 switches. I'm fine.
So
We each have our problems.
for me, I modded the whole thing.
And the back. The back, though, I don't think is that hard.
That's the one that gave me the most trouble.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
I stripped all the fucking screws. That shit is never coming off ever again. And in one of them, the exact same thing. I raged. I did everything perfectly fine for both Joy-Cons. I did it all on stream. Everything was fine.
I thought the fucking springs were going to be the biggest problem because they kept saying, like, these springs will piss you off.
Not
they
even.
piss me off a little bit.
Yeah, because you have to, like, perfectly get in there, but I managed to get it in pretty, like, without too much trouble.
Yeah.
It was, like, it
wasn't
did
the
take
same.
some time. Yeah. And then when it came to this, I don't know if the screws were different, but, like, the kid had, like, 16 to 20 different type of, like, screwdrivers. None of them worked. And so I was like, I'll just force it a little bit. And, like, and it worked, like, on everything. I was, like, opening it up. But then tightening it back up again, that's where shit hit the fan. But in one of them wouldn't come out. Or what was it? Yeah, I think it wouldn't come out, and it was on the inside of the thing. All I know is I ended up messing up the whole thing where 3 are attached, 3 screws that, like, the main core screws are attached. One of them isn't, and it's raised up, like, the lip. So, like, there's, like, a gap on, like, the actual back case of the Switch itself on that one.
And every time you played,
like,
you could feel it.
It's not, you don't feel it, like, really, but, like, just knowing that this isn't a fully sealed unit, I was like, I fucking hate you. I hate this unit.
One?
No, that's the one that I thought was having issues when it ended up being the freaking memory card the whole time, dude. Okay. But yeah, it drives me mad, and that's the fact that it was giving me issues and it had this. I was like, I need to get a new one. I need to get a new fucking Switch. I can't have this fucking missing gap here.
So I am glad I fucked up the right one and not the left because I wanted the left one because of the D-pad.
Yeah.
And it's been nice. Like the responsiveness, like I guess they updated the shells from their original one that they were selling because they said the tolerances weren't as tight and there was a little bit of a jiggle on the old shells. And I was like, it feels like brand new.
So perfect, yeah.
So I'm very happy with it. And the color scheme works where it's split with the purple and the yellow, but I'm still pissed at the right one.
I don't like the color scheme.
Just I love it. I'm glad you don't like it because now you won't eye my
now you won't eye it.
Played a little bit of Destiny. That's about it.
Over the weekend or when? Every time I go home, I will
I go on late.
I go on. I just look to see if you're all logged in. If you're logged in, I'll log in. But I haven't seen.
Well, I've done what you've done, where I just set myself as away all the time.
You son of a bitch.
Do you do the same?
I don't.
Yeah, you do. I'll see you on World of Warcraft, but it shows you as away.
I've never actively did it though. Like I guess it just.
It's always
so no. Well, a lot of things on World of Warcraft, I just I'll play and I'll go away from my computer.
Okay, that might be it.
So I'm actually AFK. And World of Warcraft will I'll come back and it says, and I move and it says you are no longer AFK. Okay. And because I stay on all the time, I don't play it all the time though. I'll go out, do things, come back. Yeah.
Last thing I did was I watched the UFC 229 or 299.
2229.
The UFC card as best I could, and I guess we'll talk about that. So, with that, you guys want to get into topics?
Yeah.
Do you want to do yours first or yours?
All of a sudden, you want to change it up.
I just figured because I ended it on that.
Mine's first.
I find yours first.
We don't change it. I'm just kidding. I literally was on the edge of my.
This better be a good topic.
It's gone now. I don't even know what it was anymore.
I actually had a guess for what your 2 topics were going to be, and neither of my guesses were right.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be about
Red Dead.
No, I thought it was going to be PSN name changes.
Oh yeah.
Because that became a thing, and the other one I forgot what it was about.
I don't feel like you guys have names you want to change. So
I honestly don't. I was like, oh my god, this change. I don't give a fuck. I got the name I want.
Exactly. Same thing for me. I was like, Last Bosses? He wouldn't want to change
my name.
You're a liar.
It's not the Last Bosses.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, now people are going to take it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, too late. Topic's over. So my topic was there's been some recent debate on sponsorshipness. Is that what it is? Sponsorshipness? Sponsorship.
Sponsorships.
Sponsorships. Recently what happened is Philip DeFranco, well, not just Philip DeFranco, but people are getting flack for having a sponsor called BetterHelp. And my question is, do you feel that it falls exclusively on the person making the video, so like the streamer or like the YouTuber, to check all their bases when they get a sponsor, or does that is it not their complete responsibility? Does it fall on some of on fans or whoever uses a service through them to make sure that they're using also something that's legit and not just a service that is false advertising or is fraudulent essentially? I have no idea how I just asked that question. It's like a big question. Okay, let me dumb it down a little bit.
I think you captured it. I mean,
whose responsibility is it for a sponsor?
Yeah, I guess.
okay.
I don't like
What's
that
your
question.
thought on it?
I don't think it should fall exclusively on one person because it's. There are going to be people that are going to be diligent enough to look at things, to look at the terms of service, to look at how long the service has been out. They're not going to cover 100% of the bases, but they'll look and be like, this guy looks legit. Like Coca-Cola, you're like immediately you're just gonna be like, yeah, let's sign up. But let's say they've been a company for however long, and all of a sudden it raises the question they have in terms of service we don't guarantee that. Our drink is drug free, and it's wait, what? And then all of a sudden, this is a big company. You're just immediately, if they say something to you, yeah, we're gonna sponsor you, you're gonna be like, yeah, let's do it. I think there's different situations where it can never be fully responsible. The sponsoree can never be fully responsible for taking on a sponsorship, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's mine. What do you guys think?
I think whoever the influencer is,
Mm-hmm.
majority of the responsibility is on him. Because I look at it as kids.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm promoting something, kids are very impressionable, and if they like you, they're just gonna go and check out whatever it is. So as an influencer, you have to do your research and find out what you're promoting. Yeah, I look at it as kids, and kids are just very
Impressionable.
Yeah.
I think there is if any content creator, this is just my opinion, I think needs to do anything that is within their control. They need to check those boxes. If they don't want, if they're not wanting to see themselves get caught in a storm, much like what you're pointing out in this thing with DeFranco and many others have been with what is it called? BetterHelp. And the fiasco or whatever it is that's going on between them, and the public outcry against that. I think you gotta assess everything, make sure you've done your homework, and then make a decision based on that.
Mm-hmm.
There's always, I think, no matter what you get a sponsor from, there's always a chance that they someone flips a switch or does something at some office somewhere, and something happens, and you're like, I'm now associated to some degree. Not saying it's not one for one,
mm-hmm.
but to some degree, wait, he's a supporter of that, and that happens. That happens. If I'm okay, we're friends. It's a relationship we have. I'm good friends with you, but people know that. And then you go and do something or I go and do something and people wait, you knew him? You were friends with him? And it's yeah, I mean, there was a certain amount of assessment that we had. I can say you are a person that I would want to be associated with, or
mm-hmm.
no, or we have a friendship. But I'm I feel that goes to an even higher degree because it's a business, not just a friendship or relationship with a person. So yeah, I mean, I agree. There's a big part on that, but shit happens. Always. So I feel it can happen, and it can be the other way too. What if I think the PewDiePie thing was one where it was the reverse, where the sponsors were we don't want to be associated with that guy.
Yeah.
Not and then that became a thing of he one day did a topic that didn't jive with people, and then or Logan Paul, for instance, and that had ramifications. So I feel like that's a flip of this. But it gets weird when you see in like I mean we're adults. Any person that I hear, and this isn't an ad, so I didn't realize the difference between a sponsor and an ad. An ad is like it's like a commercial that cuts in between. Like they don't control that. I don't think too much. But when they are like, like in the middle of our podcast, we're brought to you by, and that's like plugged in by me, or you guys. That's I didn't realize was a sponsor, and so there are plenty of times where I'm like, I hear people tell, I'm like, oh yeah, I use Hims all the time, or I used Blue Apron all the time, or Casper, and all of a sudden like you see something happening with them. I'm like, or not. My point being, I'm always skeptical. I always have skepticism, and I think that's a good thing to have to some degree. I don't think you should blindly, like, I think that's a lesson that the parents, if you're mentioning kids, should be imparting. Like, they can't really control, maybe, like we've talked in the past about, like, you can't really control anymore what kids see on YouTube because it's just all everywhere, no matter where you go. So the best you can do is share how to view that, or with what lens to view it, or what level of skepticism to view these things, and not be like 100% like. And that's shitty, because you're like, you want to, like, these people, like, I look at Phil DeFranco, I'm like, he's a genuine guy. Or I look at Casey Neistat, I'm like, he's, to my eyes, being transparent, but they're only sharing like a part of their life with you, and you don't know what goes on, and whether you agree with what goes on in their other parts of their life. And so it's like, you gotta see that perspective, I think. So it's like a mixed bag.
Yeah. And just to bring back, because I feel like I was very broad, I agree with you. Like, you know, kids with Jang.
Okay, because I know people can see the video.
I would never agree with you.
I know.
Just to let you know.
The world knows.
No, what Jang brought up is a good point, that kids are very influential or impressionable. And
you do agree with me.
And it does. And it does by association. And it does. It would fall on the, like, the streamer / YouTuber to really do their work. And I would say that there is some amount of work that needs to be done by this, like, by the streamer / influencer. Like, you can't just have, like, straight up, but like a drug cartel be like, yeah, if you know, plug in cocaine.
Well, like, I remember reading the article you shared, and it was like Boogie was one of the other people affected by this, and he largely was like, I took this on face value because I knew one of the other people I know who I'm good friends with uses it, so I was like, if they're going for it, I don't even need to read this. Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, that's great because you're friends, but I feel like this is business, and you should, no matter what, do due diligence.
Yeah.
Like I think he realized that. He's like, I got caught off guard. I need to, like, it's not like he's a knock against his friends. Yeah. It's just business is business. You got to cover what's your bases. And
and then in the case, I guess the reason why I was like so broad is the specific point I'm thinking about with this, like, you know, the BetterHelp and all these YouTubers. It's like a specific thing. It was the terms of service that, like, made the whole service sound weird. They were pretty much saying, like, we don't guarantee that we check all these instructors that, like, you're going to get help from. And, like, we don't check to make sure that they're completely certified. And so, like, in the terms of service, it pretty much says, like, you know, you might get someone who's just like a regular Joe Schmo who's just helping you out. And so people were like, that's kind of weird. Are you just hiring people left and right? And so that started getting into question. But I think overall, like, if I would have viewed this company, I would have been like, this company is perfectly fine on my end, you know, to get sponsored by them. So I also would have, like, I felt like I would have been part of this, you know, broad net that got dragged. Yeah, or got caught in. So there's always going to be, like, even though someone does their due diligence, I feel like no matter what, there'll always be a moment where you'll just get caught, and, you know, you just have to deal with that situation at that moment. But yeah, like, there is a set standard that I think a streamer or YouTube should be following, and should always make sure that they're checking these, you know, check boxes to make sure that they're, you know, this isn't like completely fake. You know, this company's been out for a while, or if it's new, just make sure that they've got everything going, you know, certified, or if they need like to have these certificates or whatever, that everything's a-okay.
I think something, I mean, going back to the kids thing, it's like you think of like ads when we were kids. And even, I'm not, like, again, ad sponsors, there's someone's trying to sell you something. And the ways in which they would do that was like you would see a cartoon character trying to sell that. And that was what the company's ways of getting to us, getting to our comfortable area to be able to be like, this bunny wants to give you something, or the Santa Claus wants to have you to drink Coke, or Tricks the rabbit, you know, it's for kids.
Silly rabbit.
Yeah. The way he said it.
Have you ever heard?
You're just like fucking but like, and how that's evolved, and like I think this is the next step because I mean that's where the market is. You see all these kids watching like the Logan Pauls and all these other people, and it's so impressionable, and it has that like personable feel to it where it's like this is a person that I've watched and I see their life every day or you know whatever, weekly or whatever, and it's like if they're the ones doing it, it's like it feels like your friend is doing it.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm telling you, like, dude, Vargas, you got to get on Movie Pass. And it's like, if my friend's telling me, then I think I can trust it. Like,
it falls into boogie.
I know, it feels weird. I like seeing it from that lens. I'm like, where could it go next? Like,
Yeah.
It's scary.
I feel like that'll always, like...
Yeah, it's not going to change.
No, because you explained that, like, I think of you talking about boogie, like... It's things I've done. Like if I see, like as someone who takes in content, if I see Philip DeFranco sponsor something, I won't second guess it. I'll be like, oh, that's cool. You know, like if I want to try that, I won't even look into the company. I'll just straight up sign up or do whatever it needs to take. If I see like Logan Paul sponsored, I'm like, I'm never even gonna look at that website. You know, regardless of whether it's an A+ thing or not. I'm just like, you know, I don't care for that content. I don't care for what he sponsors. So it's like, I wouldn't even look into that as opposed to, or for when it comes to, one over the other. And it's just similar. Like if, you know, friendship wise, if you tell me like, hey, you should check out Rosetta Stone or something, you know, like, so you can learn a different language. Because I know you, I probably wouldn't even like, question like why would I even sign up for this, because you know again when you sign up for something you lock into terms of service and that's where things can get weird. And I wouldn't even second guess it because you recommend it to me. I'll just be like, sure, why not? And that's where like I think when it comes to a business standpoint you have to like always have a checkbox, like you always have to make these checkboxes regardless of who. And
that's just the freaky part. It's just like that's the best you can do, and then just everything else is just like fucking pray.
Hope that that business doesn't. And it's funny too because the other side of it, because you were talking about how when someone who's getting sponsored does something bad, that the company can just cut ties with them. But there are moments where
not just them, but it could affect the whole platform.
They'll be like, you know, it's seen bad,
like, but YouTubers are bad, and they'll be like, we're pulling out of all these people, and this other guy's like, what the fuck did I do?
I feel like we've been using a lot of this as like a method to like make people meet our demands. Like when we don't like someone, I feel like it's been like, you know, like we tell companies like, hey, I realize that you're sponsoring this person. You should probably stop. This is why. And so you use it as like as the ammo towards like hurting this person that you don't like. And then it happens also with a company, because Philip DeFranco's getting this. He's being told like, hey, you're getting sponsored by this company. We don't like this company. Yeah, exactly. And so like now it's like society is telling people where to go.
I think that's just like how voices work in this day and age, and how things have been, where it's like if enough people are loud enough, you can get a guy fired from like directing a movie.
And I do think it's always been that way. Like it's never been different. But now with social media, like you can funnel this power into something, and it's just like it's a huge influence towards something, you know, to a different direction, and it's crazy. Yeah,
it's very crazy. That was the other thing. I was saying what the two topics I thought it was going to be. PSN name changes and Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, James Gunn, because you called that, dude.
Well, I said DC should hire him. They're
And
stupid
DC's
as hell.
hiring
Yeah, I
him.
know.
So I know this is like a little,
Yeah, you're good.
This is a little commercial between the next topic. So they said they're doing Secret Six as a TV show
Hashtag
separate
ad.
from this,
Okay.
and then they're doing Suicide Squad movie, which they haven't yet cleared up whether it'll be a new beginning or like a soft reboot, and what carries over.
And Batista wants in.
So I could see him playing two characters. I know the obvious one,
Right.
Bane.
Yeah.
The second one that he could play is King Shark.
Rhino. Oh.
That's Marvel. Sorry.
Which
Okay.
would be funnier though.
I think he'd be perfect as Bane. I think he could do both. I think he could easily do both. I'd want him as Bane. Just because there's a scene in the comics where he's like, Batman's like trying to stop him. He's like, you can't stop me. I'm covered in babies. He literally has babies all over him. He's like, if you try to hurt me,
You
you'll hurt all these babies. He's like, your move, Batman. I was like, fucking evil motherfucker. He doesn't hurt them. Like when Batman leaves, he puts them away.
With the comedy that Dave Bautista's brought into Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like it could be another like, you know, like he's so incredibly still that he's invisible type moment again.
This is how they now I wouldn't say beat Marvel, but this is how they get like a +1 in DC's boat.
On par with him.
I don't. That's going far. Let's just get even. Let's just fucking break even. They go with James Gunn's, like he's on writing for sure now, but directing him is a possibility.
Yeah.
If they get Batista or whatever, not just go with like him making a good story, make it R. Like DC hasn't gone R yet with like any of these. I think.
Well, Titans.
Fuck Robin.
Fuck Batman.
Fuck Titans.
I think that would be an interesting. I think for Suicide Squad it would work. It's like they're leaning into the Deadpool Logan world where it's like, hey, it's cool to be edgy in this way.
Yeah.
That's,
Anyway.
yeah.
Anyway, that's it. Jang's topic.
All right. So this past weekend we had a fight. A brawl. McGregor versus Khabib. I don't know how to say his last name. Nurmagomedov?
Khabib.
Khabib. Okay.
Khabib.
And
I don't
so
want to butcher anything.
there was like a crazy brawl at the end.
After the fight.
After the fight. Khabib says he got disrespected because Conor said some things about his family, religion, politics, country. So my topic is when in sports, esports, wherever is trash talking, should it have limits? Oh, I'm also gonna bring in music, but that's like towards the end. Like, should music have? Because we had two excellent diss tracks one from Eminem and one from King Pusha T. So like, are there limits when it comes to trash talking? Should there be limits?
Do you want to start us off, or do you want us to go?
I could start.
Okay.
I think there shouldn't be limits. I am for free speech, but I personally wouldn't go free limit on trash talking.
Okay.
So
Why is that?
I don't know, because
both
like
ways.
I feel like I'm a proponent of free speech, and you should be able to say anything unless it brings harm, like yelling fire in a building or something.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like that's just not my style. I wouldn't bring certain topics in to like family, or if you have beef with someone, it should just be with that person.
Yeah.
No, that's just me.
Vargas.
So I had a whole like idea of what, like I would put limits, you know, like, because I feel like, again, if you do like step on a bad, like you say something bad, it's going to trigger the other person and things are going to happen. Like things will escalate, could get very bad. So I feel like there should be a limit of what you can do. Like you can't obviously talk about someone's family, but then when you brought up like you want to bring music into this, if I think of it as music, I don't think music should hold back. I don't think like in this regard that they should be.
Why do they not? Why do they get a pass?
I think because
music has killed people. Remember, like rap beats.
Yeah, I know.
What's
Crazy,
people.
but the thing is, for me, is like music is a creative outlet. Like, and I don't think it should have limitations because it can hold back. I think like music that could have been, could be, will be. I guess when I see it that way, like that's what I see it as. Like a song could be completely different because of rules that have been set in, as opposed to like
you could say performance is the same.
No, that's the thing. Like, but when it comes to music, that's I see it immediately like this. But when it comes to like performance or like a game or a fight, it just doesn't. I don't see it that way. Like I don't see it as like it could be different if that's trash talking could be,
It's like being on tilt.
And thinking about it now, it's like there are trash talkings before the fight. Like there always is. They do interviews together. Like they sit on a table and people are asking them, and there's trash talking happening there.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, and that's where like the intense, like it riles people up. They're like, yes, like Connor is like really like making this guy mad, and this is gonna be fantastic. He's gonna cause this guy to get too mad, not fight right, and Connor will win or something. At least that's what people I'm assuming would think, and things like that don't turn out. But it's tough now. Like now that I think of it this way, when you bring music into it, I guess I see it as two different entities. And like with music, there shouldn't be limits. But I can't. I feel like I shouldn't be a hypocrite and be like, with anything else, there should be limits. So I would have to say like there shouldn't be limits. But I feel like there's always going to be something bad that's going to happen out of it. Like
always?
I mean, not always in every event, but like within all these events, one will usually have a bad outcome because of trash talking or because
not everyone's going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
You're going to get that one person that
Exactly.
one time sets off, goes Khabib.
But then you can say like even if you have limits, that could still happen, It won't be as often, maybe not even as threatening, but those moments can still be there.
I think when it comes to a business and what like a lot of these are like businesses or competitions that there's some promotion going on or something involved. Music, fighting, sport.
So like UFC essentially.
UFC, esport even.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like those right now, but we could keep going with it.
Yeah.
I think there should be from the business, like the people that are setting these things up, it all starts with like what is your goal? Is it just like end all be all is prize fight? Because if that's the case, anything goes. If it's about honor, having a respectful match between two individuals like you see in like a karate dojo, I don't think that's the place for it. I think there's like you don't see like if you have NBA, there's a tone that they're striving for in an ethics and a camaraderie and a sportsmanship that they want.
Yeah.
That's why they have unsportsmanlike conduct. If you want to play street ball, you could be perfectly good at street ball or like whatever. It's not like it's not competitive, but bear in mind certain things are okay or not okay in that, whatever that is. Versus like like if you're just doing an album versus you're doing a rap battle in like an underground place. Like there's a pretext of like what this is the environment you're stepping into. This is what is okay and isn't okay. And people like that go into those, I think, should know what they're going into. Like, I don't know how. I feel like a lot of things get assumed, and that's hard because it's like they're going to get a shock, and that's where the surprise could come in of like the wrong person stepped into the wrong environment and then things went bad. I think there needs to maybe be a way of like clearly, I would hope, I don't know how realistic it is, but like how to clearly be like, hey, you're now in this arena or court or whatever the hell. This is what's okay and not okay, and like we're leaving it at that. Like,
so you think different situations should have different rules then?
If it's up to the facilitators. Like if Capcom Cup, it's up to them to decide what do we want to condone and not condone. If they want to be like you two can like
you can
like,
teabag,
I can teabag, then you got to be prepared for everything. Like the fighters need to go in knowing that they need to be okay with like. And that does bring in an element like getting emotional in whatever a confrontation or a sport or whatever is part of things. Like even in a sportsmanlike thing, people get emotional and that drives or hurts them.
Yeah.
Like and that can bring the best or worst out of you. So that's circumstantial, but like you got as a facilitator or whatever, I don't know what the fuck the word to call it.
Yeah, the guy who like does the event
whoever the organizers are. They just, I think they have to clearly set the rules, and the shit that I don't like is when it's one-sided, where it's like, why is that okay and that's not okay? Like that doesn't like I'm like nope, this is BS right away. Like there's a lot of stuff that like happened. You're like, why was Connor's like assault thing with the bus thing, for instance, treated this way, whereas this one, and it's hard to like put everything next to each other because they aren't. He didn't throw a bus back at or a trolley bus at him. They'd be like, well, see, there it is equal. It's like you got to take it case by case, but like, yeah, it's weird. It's like you can easily tell when they're like, this is favoring me, this isn't. So fuck you. And that's where I'm like, nah. It should be like an outside people be like, okay, you've had us agree to honor like not a police force, but like a committee or a chair or whatever. Be like, okay, we are impartial. We go based on what you've given us, and then is that realistic?
So I think what you're saying is realistic because that's current what it is. Like it is
Not
like
always.
the venue, not the venue, but like whoever has the event. Like so UFC would be like the whoever like does UFC. They've set standards like what you can't do during fights, during these things.
But I don't think I think a lot of things are untouched because not necessarily the facilitators, but a lot of the people involved are like, I've never done that.
Yeah,
and
I think
okay.
it's,
So like,
I think it's situations that haven't occurred yet. You know, like I think trash talking is gonna be. It's always been a thing.
Yeah,
but it's never been in a very big enough thing where
I think the things we've been into haven't
Fortnite.
been on this platform. Like
Fortnite.
No, I'm talking like you used to play Street Fighter in an arcade. Now you're playing it on a fucking Vegas arena, and there's millions of dollars on the line.
Well, that's for esports specifically, but I think that
whatever. Yeah,
I do think that trash talking and doing certain things have become mainstream because of certain things. One major thing is like, WWE does a lot of like taunt actions essentially.
just the promos.
And promos.
Hey, brother, I know what you've been up to.
I think Muhammad Ali.
Fuck yeah,
was a
100%.
big trash talker back
But
in the day.
the thing is, I don't think he ever went for their family. Like,
That's true.
He kept it on, like how you said. He kept it on
the
that
fight with
person.
George Foreman. He would clinch George and be like, "Hey, George, you hit like a woman. You hit like." Just find that funny. You hit like a woman, George.
Like, oh.
But didn't like football? They got restrictions on the type of like celebrations you can
Really?
do. Yeah,
you can't do.
you can't do. Yeah, you
I
get.
can celebrate.
Football's got a lot of problems.
Yeah, well, I guess with football, like that's the thing. You can do any celebration you want, but if it's one that isn't one that they agree with, you'll just get fined. You'll just have to pay a fine for it. But it's not going to cause you to lose, like
You won't
forfeit a game or
get
something,
kicked out of
or
a
get
game.
kicked out. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm sure there's limitations. Like if you go butt naked, you're gonna get removed. You know.
This is why soccer's the best. You could just do a 5 minutes.
You have
Slide.
until they stop yelling. So the guy's like, give him as much as.
They pay them like 10 minutes. I need 10 minutes. He like two people I rotated between. No, but I feel like the question was, do you think? And I feel like you dropped it on other people to make the decision.
As long as
What do you think? Do you think it should have free speech?
It's dependent on the venue. Again, like what am I what kind like if I'll give you an example. I don't know if this works or not within my context, but let's say I'm at a friends gathering.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing games and we're playing Mario Kart or Mario Party or Smash. I'll smack talk, but if I start like saying like, okay, well, end of the day, you're my friend. I'm not gonna be like, you're fucking like
You're
you
trash.
suck. You're trash. You piece of shit. Your family's you piece of shit.
Give
all
me
this
that
stuff,
controller.
All this shit. Like, and I go that far. I'm like that is grossly out of context of
Right.
like what the situation would be. I'm like, oh, a little friendly jab back and forth should be okay. And again, that's circumstantial because like if it bothers you, I'll be like, okay, I'll stop. Because end of the day, I just want to have fun. And if we're having fun with it, because some people are like, they're okay going further, and I think it's like an understanding in that scenario.
But what if you just keep on pushing?
See, that's the thing, though.
Then
The
somebody's gotta
scenario,
be like, that's not okay, and then be like, okay.
the scenario you're giving me is
Toad again, huh?
the scenario you're giving me is similar to. So Jang said he wouldn't take it that far. but he wouldn't have rules
But I believe that
to
anyone
allow
could
people
say.
to. So he'd allow anyone to take it further, but he just wouldn't himself. I feel like the situation you're giving me is very similar. You yourself wouldn't take it further.
No, I depend
But-
on the search. Like I can go far,
Yeah.
but
Roast battle.
no, there's been times where I keep going and they're like, "Fucking stop!" I'm like, "What? You can't?" And then I'm like, "Oh shit, I took it too far." So I don't mind going far, but it's got to be with.
So you're saying like if it was like, again, like a street fight, obviously there isn't going to be any rules. Anything goes. But would you be okay with that, or would you want rules there? Or
No, I mean, I feel like the places I'd want. Okay,
like taking people that you know out of it. Like it's two individuals, you have no clue, and you know they're gonna fight. And would you want them to set
think-
rules for what they can say? Obviously, like the fights can be completely different, like whether using weapons, knives, whatever. But I'm
I
saying,
want there to be an agreement on what's okay, and then once that agreement's set,
okay,
then whatever it goes from there. So like if you and I are like, hey, everything's cool, just don't curse.
that's just a tough thing because
And I think this whole thing is a tough thing. Like I love like teabagging does not bother me. It bothers a lot of fucking people. I've gotten PSN messages like, hey, you piece of fucking shit. That is the worst. Like I'm reporting. I'm like, what? For crouching in a game on a screen?
See,
like,
that's
people
the
are
thing.
like, no, dude, that is offensive. I'm like, I'll take a chill pill. And to me, that's okay, but to someone else, it's not. And I'm like,
and I've told you,
that's
and
the
the thing,
internet. That's
and then
the internet,
and
though.
then
And I'm
you
like,
make a freaking teabag clan.
I do.
See,
Never
so
got taken down.
the thing
But
is, like,
so okay. I'll give one more example. I go into the internet. I know what I'm getting into. I see like the worst of the worst trolls posting the worst
I
of
don't
the
know,
worst. And
man.
I'm like, when
4chan?
you okay, here's an example. Reddit.
uh-huh.
People are like, no, I disagree with this post or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And then that person gets shit on, and they come tell me like, man, fucking, I got pissed yesterday. Everyone just shat on me on Reddit. I'm like, it's the internet, dude. Everyone's got a beef with everyone. Like, that's the context of what. Like
Reddit?
I go into the internet. I'm just broadly speaking. I know for every one opinion, there's 18 of people that are saying like that's wrong. Like
Yeah.
just trolling. A, either trolling you. B, either
Shit posts.
like just
Yeah.
people. And that's how the internet is. So I just go into the internet knowing that. So if I post something, I know that's the context of which. So if I say something shitty or if someone says something shitty to me, I'm like, that's the game I'm playing. I don't get so far yet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yet. I haven't seen anything that I'm like I take personally. I'm like if someone says like, "Ha, you stupid," I'm like, you don't even fucking know me. Whatever. I don't like. I dismiss it. But I know for people that are like on the screen all day, every day, whatever, that's harder.
The
'Cause you're
worst-
seeing it all the time.
The worst comment I ever got that I took personally. Some guy said I would look like a hipster. I was like, all mad. I was like, what the fuck, hipster?
It was
What
the cowboy hat. No, so the thing is, when it comes to internet, I agree with you. But when it comes to online multiplayer,
What's this thing?
I don't see it that way. I see it as like, so I have a base where it's like, I will not taunt anyone. I will not like teabag. Because that's just like, the thing is, I don't know other people's standard. I don't know what this person's thinking.
They're going into a game knowing that that's an option.
But the thing is,
it's
like-
like saying I don't.
In-
I get offended when you use a rocket launcher.
in
on
that
me. It's
same
in the
game, you can play with a person that's 10 years old. Are you going to do the same thing to that person?
I don't know that
Exactly.
they're a 10-year-old.
You
So
don't know.
I just
So
play-
therefore,
I just play-
the
no, I
standard should
can't-
be you shouldn't
No,
do
no,
that
no.
to anyone.
I disagree. I don't think you should play like everyone's a 10-year-old. Because then you're just like, how am I playing my game?
See, this is where it gets weird because I see it as like I don't think you should be teabagging. I don't think you should do. There's certain things you shouldn't do. Like
Why not?
with Destiny, it's become a normal thing where you do an emote.
I think
Like you killed someone and then like you do like you do like a weird wave goodbye emote. And for some reason, at least in my eyes, it doesn't seem like that's too bad of a thing. It's some people will still rage at that. But the
okay.
teabagging is like
it's not universal.
that's
The teabagging thing, not everyone knows what the fuck that is.
I think
A 10-year-old, how is a 10-year-old going to know what a teabag is?
you never played Halo apparently. 'Cause
I have played Halo, and that's when it started. But like new generations,
I'm
they
sorry,
don't know.
you just never played Halo apparently.
So you're assuming everyone knows what a teabag is.
That's
I'm
my
a-
basis.
What I'm assuming
That's
is
my
if I
basis.
were to text or message that player saying "fuck you," That's not okay.
Well, because
Uninstall the game?
that's 100% like you know what this guy's intention
that's like
is.
English. I'm speaking to you
Yeah.
like verbatim. But like if I'm doing like, let's say not even teabag. Let's take teabag out of this. Let's say I'm just doing a floss dance when you die.
Yeah.
Who knows what the hell I mean? So what? I can't express myself now? Now you're saying I can't. You're limiting expression.
No, right. That's more obscure. Like the dancing's more obscure.
Why is it?
Because it's been a newer thing. Emotes are a newer thing. Teabagging is like, it's classic because in every game you've always been able to crouch. So that's been from the beginning, that was the very first emote to indicate I'm better than you. I can wreck your shit.
That's the definition you can put on it, though. I put on it saying, haha. That's what it means to me.
I see the teabag as a general standard for this is a taunt and like, I guess now for me it's like the most serious taunt. Like this is like your shit, you know, like
I don't see it that way at all. And that's where I'm like, your definition for it, mine are different. Just like my definition for a floss dance and yours might be different. So you can't say it's
so
okay
now,
for everyone.
Now that you've said that, in I guess when it comes to like events, you want there to be context. You want them to like know this is wrong, this is wrong, right?
No, I want to be like, okay, like I remember in a fighting game tournament, I think Knuckle Do and someone else were doing, and like one of them, or at least two of them, out of the pool of people were teabagging, and people were like, that's not okay because it gets players riled up, and I'm like, okay, then you need to classify if just taunting. I wouldn't say one motion. I would say like, is taunting okay at all? Is any sort of like smack talk or something that is outside of just the combat okay? If it's not, then yeah, that should be included in that. But that would be under a pool of things. It's like me doing this. Like that's what The Rock does. Like
I can't.
He's telling you bring it.
I can't pull any certain events, but I know people have been banned from competitive play because of teabagging.
I know there are rules that don't allow.
Yeah, like, and because
but in those areas, don't do it.
Well, the thing is,
I'm not gonna fight that battle there. I'm like, in my opinion, if it's a free like a game and there's no like in Destiny, there's no. I don't get kicked out of a game or I don't lose points for doing it, so it's free game.
Report player.
But if it's in a competitive mode and one of the rules is clearly don't do this, okay, I won't do it.
This is where I don't know. I just don't agree with, even if it's not a rule, like certain things shouldn't be done. But again, this is where I just wouldn't take it that far. But you don't see it as being far. Like it's just it's whatever.
Like a tickle.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
I don't know.
Like stop it.
For me,
no, I'm not okay with tickling.
For me, I don't take it personally either. Because I remember what game was it? I was playing a game where me and this guy were just teabagging. Like he would kill me and he teabagged me. I'm like, oh no, dude. Oh no. But I wasn't like angry. I was just like, I'm gonna hunt you down.
Well, like okay, here's
I'll
an
teabag you
example.
too.
I remember there was a match you, me, and another friend of ours were getting our asses whipped, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna teabag the corpse. Not because I know I'm better. I'm just like, this is the only thing I can do to get you riled up. And they just went like even worse on us. And I was like, okay, that went faster. That was funny. Like I was laughing. It was
Dude,
funny.
he was getting him and his friend were getting messages saying like, "You're pieces of shit," like, because they were teabag and we were losing horribly.
So it wasn't like I was already better than them and then doing this.
But they still took it to heart, even though they were better. They were messaging you.
People do that all the time, and they don't take it like they'll be on the internet and be like, "You're like crap, poop, crap." Like on
no,
the
but
internet.
they said like straight up like bad words to you.
I know, but people do that on the internet all the time. Is what I'm saying. Like to say
Wow.
that they take it to
Okay.
heart is assuming so
if
much.
they're messaging you exactly what they're saying, I take it at face value. Like a specific, because I don't know that person. If I know people, obviously sarcasm goes into play, everything. But if I am playing online and I'm wrecking the student, this fool's like, "You're an asshole," I'll be like, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry for whatever I did."
So you're saying anything on the internet that you hear?
Obviously not. I'm separating internet to video
Okay,
games.
I
Video
don't.
games, I don't
That's
like.
where we differ on
That's where like that's for me. A video game is I guess a safe space. Like there's things you can't really go too
Mario
far
Kart
in.
is the same. So it's tilt controls.
There's things that, oh my gosh, my throat is just killing me.
This became a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it did. Well, I mean,
Internet
it is
culture and-
related because it is smack talking and that's
Yeah.
part of it. So
The internet's a
you
wild
snuck-
west. So just-
I just what's your opinion on teabagging?
I don't care for it. Like
Yeah, okay.
the thing is, like I remember I was playing Halo with George, and someone teabagged me. I was like, oh, whatever, dude. Like, and then George got fucking pissed. He just fucking teabagged you, and we just destroyed the team.
What do you think of teabagging though? Like when it comes to online, like do you think it should be okay or not okay?
It's the internet, free, it's free.
Okay, I guess
I feel like that's censorship, and we're going back to the other topic of like what is and isn't okay to say.
I guess I'm not questioning it, right?
I think like
I want you to know whether teabagging is
I think people take it to heart,
right. Okay.
but I think you should be able to do it if you want to.
And I guess I'm gonna break it down to I'm arguing with you, but I do think it's okay to teabag whoever the fuck you
Just
want.
personally,
But I think it is a bad gesture. It is unsportsmanlike, is what I think it is.
no,
So therefore, that's something that I wouldn't do.
I'll make sure never to teabag.
No. I mean, again, you're fine to do it. I guess the reason I'm arguing with you is because I want you to see it my way, but it doesn't matter because I would be okay whether you're doing it or not. I just want you to understand, like, I guess I would never do that.
No, I know that it could be taken any number of ways. Like I know some people it's
Like-
gonna rage, some people it's gonna be like whatever. And
Like
I guess I've now seen. I haven't been around as many people that they've cared about it, and so seeing some people like that I know that do, and again that are on different spectrums. It's like, this
Like-
is to furthers my point of like saying an expression can mean, depending on who you're with or whatever it is, can mean many different things. And
The thing is, like with certain people, the killing them is the rage point, and you just added salt to the wound by that like brings it to the
Yeah,
like killing him is the one that will piss him off. But then you
What's
add
funny-
a little thing, it's just like
What's funny to me is like he teabags and like for him it's like it's whatever's, but there are people that he's probably done it to where they're like their face gets red. They're like
I mean, they're mad at the death. They're like fuck, and then
yeah.
the,
Like I've had friends who have thrown their controllers and made holes in their wall, and I feel like you would be a person that have
it's like
initiated this event for that person,
Certain-
and for you, you're not really like.
I'm Conor McGregor.
But the thing is, like, you don't know that. You're just like you're doing something thinking you're not hurting anyone. Well, you're not.
No, I'm saying you're going into a game where you don't know who you're playing against, and so anything can happen.
Yeah.
And you need like either the parent that's allowing the kid to play needs to be aware of that, or the person
parent.
playing needs to be aware of it. And so like if they're like in that like that's my facilitated mindset that I'm
Yeah.
going into. I'm like, if in that world, I think whatever goes. But if I'm like, we're in a room together and we're playing, I know in our context, like how things might affect each other, whether it be teabagging or whether it be banana peels or blue shell, whatever it may be, or like I'm just like teasing you in a certain like Monopoly or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know he hates Boardwalk. I'm gonna buy Boardwalk just to piss him off, and that's me like messing with you. I know in that case what is and isn't comfortable because I know what I've
Yeah.
gotten to know my friends and I know what they're. And if I don't know, I then learn and then I'm like, okay, I don't want to go there because that you're my friend. If I'm in another place, then I'm like, okay, what do I want to go in and what is the tone, and then I operate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying when I'm on the internet, I don't care because no one. I don't know. I have my thoughts on that.
welcome to the internet.
Yeah, that fight UFC. It took a left turn, but I think it came back.
McGregor's internet, and Caleb he didn't know what he was getting into.
You chucked me out, bro. You got him good.
Yeah.
Just piece by piece. Like so the
pounded
fight,
him.
I don't know if it was 4 matches, and they started striking.
I
and
saw-
Khabib like smacked
Clipped
him.
him.
Yeah, and then like
Yeah, I saw he hit his jaw and like he like fell back like if he almost like was in a fall, but he
Startled.
caught himself.
yeah, he got startled, and then Khabib like went back, and then he went forward, and then like he just started like boa constrictor. He's just like, I'm gonna waste your energy, and he struggle. Next round, got him back again, struggle, and it's like more and more, just like you could just see him. Like,
So Khalif is very good with grabs then. If he was able to grab
he's
him.
100% grappler. People were like, they don't know if he can get to that because of how good.
And it seemed like he got him every round though.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, in order to get to the grapple, you have to get past the striking.
Yeah.
And people were like, they don't know how his striking would compare to Connor's because Connor's more reputable in the striking. And he was able to get through it.
Like Joe Rogan said, the one discipline that always wins is wrestling, man. It dictates the fight. That's why I was worried about Conor. Khabib is a freaking class A dude. This guy wrestled bears when he was a kid. There's videos of him wrestling bears.
Baby bears.
But still, dude. As a kid,
I
this
knew
guy's Zangief.
I knew that
This
too.
guy's
I
Zangief,
teabag bears, dude. He rages, murders me.
I do think that there's like the challenge of a grappler is getting past the guard and like the striking.
You're right.
Because like imagine the Jose one fight, like just a hit and done. So still challenge, but he knew his game. I think he had his eye on the prize. He's like, I don't care what you say.
Make a rematch.
I think he should retire. I don't want.
This is the favoritism, right? This is the favoritism of Conor McGregor. They're gonna give him the rematch. Usually you have to work.
What if
you
lose?
lose?
Get a rematch if the guy doesn't want to fight.
Oh no. But let's say he's okay with fighting.
Okay.
Usually, if you go for a title shot, which was a title shot, if you lose, if you're the second place guy, you have to work your way up again.
It's like
they're just gonna give it to him.
It's like Mortal Kombat. You die, you gotta go start back at the bottom.
Yep. And watch.
Work up
if
that
they
pillar.
want a rematch, they're just gonna give it to him straight up, and that's not
the match
fair.
before. Yeah, that is shitty because he also did like 5 illegal maneuvers during the thing. Didn't really get anything happen, and then I don't. Yeah, just that in addition to what you're saying, I think further emphasizes he's like. But they're like money. Their end goal is money. So who knows what?
They're jealous that Logan Paul can bring in more.
Dude, looking at this and looking at that stupid fight, that was the dumbest fight, and you're like, that made a lot of money. The KSI, whatever.
Well, because obviously it's the fans that are bringing in the money.
I know, but like in terms of the prowess, they were like, we're the dog, and like Logan Paul was like, bring on Conor McGregor, let's fight. And I was like,
oh no,
he would get
head
not even around, dude.
Okay, next topic.
Teabag.
I still want to talk
Next
about.
topic, I'm just gonna come in with a T.
I still want to convince you that
now
that's
in
just
the sunken
not.
place.
It's not right.
Okay, I have one last question.
Yeah.
If there was an emote in Destiny,
A teabagging emote.
where it's just them with a teacup,
Yeah.
doing that,
I think that's funny.
what do you stand on that?
So.
And so if you die and I come over and I did that emote, I didn't crouch, I did that emote. Is that okay?
You have a monocle too.
So okay. Again, I'm okay with the teabag, but I just want like you to know that standard it's not okay online. Like that's just so the emo I think is I think it is. I think that it's an unspoken standard. Like it's not something obviously you can't go online and be like there's rule number 1, never teabag anyone. It's just something that like I guess playing online games like it's just always been a thing. It's like teabagging is a bad thing.
What?
The emote would be fine. Like again like because I did mention emotes are a newer thing and they've been used as a way to taunt people. It's very similar to the way teabagging is, but I think because it's a newer thing I do that. I've done that. I've done the emote thing. And if there's a teabag one, I will also use it without thinking anything of it. But then actual motion of a teabag, the crouching and standing, I would not do.
Okay. Cool. All right. Next topic. Last topic. A fun one. I kind of want to talk about
Teabagging.
Yeah. Your favorite black tea bags, green tea bags,
Earl
Green
Grey.
tea.
Earl Grey, loose leaf. No, I wanted to talk about games, and like I know Spider-Man just got an adaptation again, but it's in like this world of Spider-Man. It's its own story, and then we've seen other games like or other adaptations like this recently leaked trailer for Harry Potter or like the world of Harry Potter, and having a AAA level game set in that world. And I was wondering, like, what untapped movie or book franchises or pieces would you like to see get a AAA game treatment, like a Naughty Dog or a Rockstar, sort of not necessarily a direct adaptation of a material, like it doesn't have to be Pet Sematary, it could be like in the world of Pet Sematary or in the world, like much like Star Wars or whatever. Like, do you have some ideas of what you would want to see brought in that hasn't been from movies or TV and movies and books were the big ones I drew from, but any sort of like world. You guys, do you want me to start, or do you guys want to go?
Since we've all started with our own topic, you can start.
Okay. One of the ones I had was what's it called? The Dark Tower series. I think I haven't read it, but I know enough of it that there's many different realms.
I know it's a big universe.
Yeah, it's a really big universe, and there's like established rules and legends and stuff. And it like just hearing about that made me think of a few things. It made me think of God of War, the recent one, because there's a point in this game where there's access to many realms, and I'm like, that's like they could easily adapt that.
That is literally the Dark Tower.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another element of it that I drew from for this specific style of game, I'd be like Rockstar with like a Red Dead vibe, and a cross with the God of War. And I think this is where I'm less familiar with the material. Is there's at a point where like the main character has a young kid with them, and that could easily draw from God of War or Last of Us, where it's like a companion sort of thing. But it doesn't have to. It could be like you're just like in another character, like a new character in that world, and you have the access to those things or something. I think that'd be really cool and a good opportunity for them to like delve into this Stephen King universe. I don't know. Does he have many game adaptations of his stuff?
I don't think he does.
Okay. I think that'd be the one.
Call us, Steven. Make it work.
I just imagine like the from Back to the Future, where he's like he's playing the yeah, and he's like, I got a new song for you, and he's like, Chuck. You're like, Steven, I got a new game for you. Yeah, dude, you just throw it out there. So I had narrowed it down to a movie, but I think with you talking about like the Dark Tower, and essentially it's like a universe of books that tie into it all together, I would say like Studio Ghibli or Studio Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it. I think having like, I guess like thinking of it now, I haven't thought of it very well, but think of it now is similar to like Kingdom Hearts, where it's like you have worlds,
oh my God,
and each one is of a different movie of Studio
Square
Ghibli.
Enix.
Yeah,
back to the drawing board.
The only thing is, I don't know. Obviously, like protagonist, like who is it going to be? Because if you're going into different worlds, it's not going to be someone from that.
You could have a new character.
Yeah, new character.
They did the Kingdom Hearts where Zora was the new character, right? Zora.
Yeah.
And then Totoro could be like your Mickey or Goofy or whatever. That'd be cool.
Or with every character.
I'd love that. That'd be fucking awesome.
It could be something where it's
I was
like
thinking you were gonna go like Ni no Kuni. I was like, they sort of did something because it was like the artists and stuff. But
that's pretty much where I was gonna go with.
Oh, okay.
With like, let's say like in the universe of Spirited Away. But then when you were talking about like the Dark Tower, I'm like, that's a huge universe, and I was like, oh my god, like doing all of it, at once,
That'd be fucking awesome.
And that'd be really cool. And like obviously different moments, like in Spirited Away, there's a moment where her parents become pigs. So like you go through a stage where like you're an animal and you have to get through it to get out of it. You could do something where, so obviously there's someone very famous who like is associated with Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
And that is, I forgot his name.
Miyazaki.
Yeah. So it could be him where it's like he's trapped in his own work and you have to save him.
That'd be cool.
Or something,
I was just gonna make one request of this game. Please,
teabagging.
Please, no Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh my god, it would have to be there, dude.
No,
it would have to be there.
That's like in the rated. That's like this is not for kids version of the game.
The thing is, you can obviously omit a lot of information and just have literally where your
sister.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Dude, no. So you guys talked about it, and when I finally saw it, I was like, "Holy shit, dude! How did this even exist?"
I'm like, this is years after seeing it, and I'm still like, it was dark. I can only imagine what I would have said if I just came out of the theater and saw it. I'd be like, oh my god.
There's no fucking reason to ever rewatch that shit. Oh my god. Honestly, it like. I watched it at the end of the day, and it puts you like if I watch in the morning, my whole day would be ruined. Like there's no coming back from that feeling.
I was like, do I ruin a perfectly good day, or do I make a day that I'm already kind of like, this day sucks, I should just see it now?
That's even worse.
And I did that one, and I was like, I am not. I'm keeping every like thing away from me. I need to be in a safe space. Bucket of ice cream.
Dude.
Anyway, I like the idea though. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. So Miyazaki and the Studio Ghibli.
I've been playing a crap ton of Stardew, so I want to bring The Wire marries Stardew Valley, where you start off as a low-level goon, and you rise up the ranks. You got to pay off cops. You got to make the drugs.
Occasionally, the guy.
Omar will steal
shows up.
half your crop. Yeah. I want to make Stardew Valley, but like the drug version of it. Or The Wire. The Wire meets Stardew Valley.
There should be a whole part where everyone just says "fuck."
Yeah, she.
Yeah,
It's a
one
long,
character just like,
long
So
cutscene.
just to like, for that episode specifically, was that something that they gave themselves as a challenge, or was someone?
I think it was a creative thing. That
Okay.
They want to do like. I think we can like make this whole scene work.
She.
No, not the shit. Like that was a separate thing.
No.
Okay.
But that's that same guy in that
No.
in the fuck. No.
No, it's so one of the main guys is these two cops that were partners. The guy that says shit is like a politician.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's also in that.
He's in that show.
Oh, I honestly thought it was the same. Like that cop was the same person
No,
that says
no,
shit. Okay.
It's these two cops in this scene. They're inspecting it, and they're just fuck. And then another famous scene or line was someone comes in on this politician and like presents some like surprising information. He's like, "She."
For a long time.
Yeah, it was. He's said that before, but never this long.
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck?" Like, this was an outtake, probably. That'd be good though. The Wire.
And also, just real quick, I watched that scene, the fuck scene, before knowing anything about it. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was a weird thing. I didn't realize like they're just literally only saying fuck. And then I saw like on Reddit, someone was like, you know, this is a magnificent scene. Like it's a scene all with fuck. And I watched it, I'm like, now knowing it, I was like, this is weird. Like this doesn't seem like a right. Like it doesn't seem right because it's weird. But when I watched it, like not knowing this stuff, I didn't even second guess the scene, and I didn't think
it's another scene.
Yeah, it's just another scene. That shit was crazy.
I had a couple other ideas.
Yeah, I saw you busting out your phone. You forgot them.
I'd do the Die Hard series, but like Uncharted, and I think it would work perfectly. I feel like the first game should start small, and like have like the tower sort of thing and stuff, and then the next games just keep escalating. And I feel like Naughty Dog would do those escalated scenes, like when in the fourth one when John McClane is on a jet jumping like from a highway where he's in a semi truck chase. I'm like, Naughty Dog could do that.
You took down a helicopter with a car?
Do you guys have any other?
Oh my gosh.
Let's do a Nightmare on Elm Street, but you play as Freddy, and you got to set up the
Dude.
deaths.
Okay, Nightmare on Elm Street crossed with like Dishonor style gameplay.
Okay.
You just like fucking with
Yes.
people. You like freeze time, fuck
Yes.
with you, go in your mind, do all this shit. Or they could cross it with dreams, nightmares.
Dang, Dishonored and
Freddy.
that would be just messed up because like you're like all powerful, almighty, like.
It's just Dishonored with like cheat codes.
Oh my gosh. I had one, but it was similar to Harry Potter. What was the franchise? Magic.
Magicians.
I can't. The only one, but I mean, there's been similarities, but like Ready Player One, is something that I would now that obviously with the introduction of VR,
The Oasis.
yeah, dude, like just have like a haptic suit, you know, a feedback suit, on, you know, feedback gloves, so like you feel everything, and just hop in that bitch.
It'd be cool just to have like a VR game where it's like an Easter egg hunt. It's just like a bunch of nostalgia stuff, and you're just trying to figure out your way. I don't know how. Like, I don't know how. It works. Another one I had was Don Quixote, the old story. But what I would have it be is, it'd be Ubisoft making the game. So it's like exploratory collectibles, all this shit. But I would take a note out of Assassin's Creed, where I know like Assassin's Creed has like a modern and then the historical. It would be modern in that he's older and he's retelling his stories. And then when he's retelling it, you go and play those characters. And occasionally he'll be like, "Oh, I forgot," and then like crazy shit. And then you come back, and you go back. You know, it would go back and forth like that. Thought that'd be interesting. It'd be a good way of maybe telling that story. And then Star Trek, I had. Because I don't think there's been like really popular Star Trek games. I had 2 styles.
There's that VR Star Deck or something like that, or no? Bridge.
Oh yeah.
Star Bridge.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I would have it be different though. I would have one of 2 things. I would have one of them be not so much like traditional Star Trek. I'd imagine like
Black Mirror.
no fuck no, fuck no, a VR game. I would have one be sort of like the Black Ship, or what is it called? Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the ship battle.
Oh.
But with like Federation ships, like in space, essentially. And then the other version would be like a Persona 5, where you're on the crew, you have relationships with your crew, and then you have an encounter with like a villain, and then there's like dialogue and like turn-based fighting. It'd be very different, and it would be very much not space combat, but I think it would be like a cool way to bring more into the crew, which is, I think, a big part of Star Trek. That, like, I know people associate the crew with like Star Trek, but a lot of times people are like thinking, okay, game, space combat, and I'd be like, this would be a different look on it. It'd be like, no, not that.
In that regards, Inception would turn out. I honestly think our future, the current future that we're living in, we will have a game. The current simulation that we're living, we're gonna have a game that involves very similar concepts to Inception, where like the stages are dreams, and you're trying to get out of it. There's like. It's like the way you play Into the Breach right now. Like there's a way to play it where you play like everything, so you go through every dream. But then I saw a speed run where he like on stage 3, he like entered the volcano and like nuked the whole volcano, and it literally just won the game. So like there's a moment where you can like in certain dreams you can just like escape earlier. So like those would be for speed runs. So I don't know like how. But yeah, there'd be like, so dreams would be stages, and then I guess it'd be like the concept was The Simpsons did it, like with Bart. What was the game where he had
Bart's Nightmare?
Yeah, Bart's Nightmare. You know, every stage was a different dream, and he would be like Godzilla destroying everything.
I know who would do it. Mario will do it. The next Mario game, like the next big jump that
when the hat goes in,
no,
it's
not
every character.
It's like, you know how they did space, and they did a cool way of space, and then they did this hat thing where they did like, okay, you can do cool stuff like that. I think the next one's gonna be like the worlds are like levels of mines. I think that could be like a way for them to go more like Nintendo's all about doing crazy.
Bowser.
Weird, yeah, like they've done Bowser sort of.
No,
the inside story. Oh my god, go inside Bowsette.
No.
But I think they could do something where it's like inside the imagination of Bowser, and then you see that world play out, and then inside the imagination of Luigi and how that play. Like Mario's going in everyone's minds, and that's the world.
You go into Luigi, and it's Luigi's mansion. He's just like
he's all powerful. He's like, yes. That could be interesting. But I like Inception would be a good thing to base on. I think Interstellar would be a cool thing to play off of too, because of the way time displacement plays. So it's like the further away from World 1 you go,
faster.
Oh my god, Interstellar mixed with Stardew.
Oh like, my god.
If you go to certain fields, these fields operate at a certain other rate, and you're like, wait, how do I?
Yeah.
Maximize. Oh my god.
Min max.
And need winter right away. If you need winter right away, you just move
Friday, Sunday.
Just all of Christopher Nolan's material. The last one I had was Fast and the Furious. I think they could do something cross with like GTA and Twisted Metal. Like some areas would be like the GTA, because every time I see someone play GTA, they're in a car or on a motorcycle.
There's a tank in my ass.
And then yeah, they could do like crazy scenes like that. It was weird. So that's all I have.
I'm trying to think of franchises, or books, or movies that I really love, and I think of Fight Club, but I can't think of anything for
Lord
that.
of the Rings, like a massive. I know they've done games.
Shadow Mordor.
Yeah, but something different, not like an action slash You play Hobbit, Stardew Valley. Let's go. Just eating food,
Potatoes.
chilling,
Second breakfast.
smoking.
Yes. That'd be good.
Half your energy spent eating first and second breakfast.
You should play as Sauron, and you're trying to min max the city. You're like Animal Crossing meets Lord of the Rings,
City skyline.
where you're just like, fucking Joe needs his ring today. Shit. All right, get him his ring, and then the way you could like auto reset the game is like, all right, one ring, everyone
It's
bitches.
cooking mama. You're just trying to satisfy everyone.
That'd be good.
No, but like, so for me, like, MMOs are my games. Like, I love these things. The only problem is like, nothing's done the way no MMO has done what World of Warcraft has done. Like, really captured, like, or at least in my eyes, captured the way an MMO should be.
I think SWTOR was close. The Old Republic.
I didn't like. I played it. I played quite
They
a few.
didn't sustain. Like, I don't think they
Yeah.
had the funding or resources to do it.
The thing is, like, so with KOTOR specifically, I feel like there was always a lag. It didn't feel like when you're playing it, but like when you hit someone with like a lightsaber, I felt like the action of me hitting, like, doing a certain move with lightsaber, it lagged on the move because it's you're not flailing the lightsaber left and right.
Yeah.
So when you hit the button, you have to wait until you attack for the button to activate and do the motion. And so it felt not intuitive. It wasn't one-to-one. Where with World of Warcraft, like, if I hit a button, even though he did a regular attack, if I hit the button, he does a second attack immediately. That's the exact move.
Okay.
Then I have to wait for the move for the cooldown to go. So it's very, very active. And no other game's done that really. Like, if I played Final Fantasy, those games have that delay as well. Like, they wait until the basic attack guns out before that move actually hits. So then I hit it, I have to wait until the basic move happens. So I'm trying to think of a franchise that I can make into an MMO, and I can't think of any. I can't think of any big franchise. I've already used
There's one.
Studio Ghibli.
But
Studio Ghibli.
it's already a game. It's a lot of other things too.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah. I mean, what is another Digimon? I mean, there's been games.
I mean, Harry Potter, but there's
An MMO.
Yeah, well, there's an open world thing.
There's gonna be an open world, which I don't know. I don't know.
Harry
how that
Potter
works.
MMO would be cool.
Just
It can
gear
happen.
up your wand,
Competitive.
get a
Team up.
Maleficent wand.
Voldemort's just like. I gotta say, here's the other thing. I will go back to Harry Potter again. Ralph Fiennes played Voldemort so fucking good. Like, that actor. Because, like, they don't have someone for him until the fourth one where he, like, returns.
Yeah, he looks different in the very first one. It looks way different.
Yeah. Okay, here's the other thing with that. They keep saying, like, no one knew he would eventually become the Dark. But I'm like, everything they show with his, like, past, like, leading up, I'm like, fucking this kid's, like, off. Like, he had, like, things that were, like, we should, like, give him a little bit extra attention.
Better help.
We are not sponsored. We are not sponsored. That was a joke. Brought to you by Teabags. No, yeah. So, like, I feel like at least the way the movie portrays them, I'm sure the books also, like, they flash back to scenes and, like, he's disturbed and, like, or there's something, like, that has shook him or always, like, bothering him. I'm like, I don't think Dumbledore. I think when the amount of attention and care he gives Harry is, like, reactive to what he should have done with Voldemort, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if he's owned up to it. At least in any of the, I don't remember. I don't think he ever, like, says, like, I should have, been
I feel
more.
like Dumbledore's made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Like him, like, siding with Grindelwald in the
So,
past.
is Tom Riddle Voldemort? Like, that is, like, that character turned into Voldemort?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
his name was Tom Riddle, and then he added the Mal whatever in the second one to be sort of like, now my name is an anagram for I am Voldemort. But his name was Tom Riddle. That was his birth name.
Okay.
And then he's like, I don't, like, associate with my Muggle name.
Yeah.
I have my name that I've given myself.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I thought Tom Riddle was just like a decoy character to like get people away from Voldemort or whatever, or for him to sneak into wherever he.
No,
needed to.
he grew up as Tom.
Okay.
I kind of wish they didn't kill Grindelwald in the.
Whoa! Spoilers.
In the original Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
yeah. I think it would have been cool to see an old ass Grindelwald. I don't know. I mean, you do see him in the film, I think.
Briefly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in the Harry Potter stuff. You don't. This is.
But this new one is a fight against Grindelwald. The character that.
So it has Dumbledore
So
in there
there's-
too, so you know what
So
happens.
there's
to
this like
Dumbledore.
epic battle between Dumbledore and Grindelwald that they talk about in the books. You will see that epic battle. in the
I don't know if
movies.
it'll be in this one.
You think this is gonna be a part 1 and part 2 of fucking Deathly Hallows?
This is part 2
and
of 3.
What's crazy
The
is
first one, Fantastic Beasts 1, then there was Fantastic Beasts, and there's
So-
going to be a third one.
crazy thing is Grindelwald had the best wand in the world, and he got fucked up.
What was the
The
I
Elder
forgot what
Wand.
it's called.
The Elder Wand.
Elder wand, yeah.
now is it because it's made out of a specific wood?
It's a certain it's like there are 3 legend. There that little that symbol you see where it's
Yeah.
a triangle, circle line. One of those symbols is the wand.
Yeah, the Elder wand.
So these three things are like ancient.
It makes you live.
It's like
supposed to make you
exotics.
live forever.
So there's
If
like
you-
a cowbell.
there's a
there's a
invisibility
wall.
cloak,
No, yeah, it's the cloak that Harry
But
has.
that's
and
the
then the
triangle?
Yeah, that's the triangle.
philosopher's stone, and then the wand, and it's supposed to make you live forever.
Wow. So
That's
that
what-
one wand, like the line is the wand, and this motherfucker has it, and this motherfucker still gets wrecked.
Because Dumbledore be Dumbledore.
Hell
I don't
yeah,
need to watch
dude.
the movie. I already know what happens.
Do you?
Wait, what happened to the wand?
I own it.
I don't remember.
Gotta watch the movies.
No, I remembered something happened to it, but I forgot what happened to it.
Turned into a tree. Got buried and turned into a tree.
I think Dumbledore had it, but spoiler wise, and someone took it, and then.
If I had written the book,
Oh, okay, I remember. I kind of remember.
if I had written Harry Potter, I would base the strength of wands on the type of wood, and then obviously there'd be magical wood.
Yeah.
And
There's
then-
many. I think there's a couple of factors. Some of them have. So the wood is a factor.
length.
You're right.
Mhm.
The length of the wand, I think, is a nature or a characteristic of it. And there's like a relationship between you and your wand. So it's like you are. It's sort of like the sorting hat, I guess in a sense. And then the third thing is there's like a something in the wand as well. Sometimes it's like a phoenix feather. Other times it's like
Unicorn hair.
unicorn hair. Something like there's an element to that too. And those are 3 of the main characteristics that like define a
Is
wand.
there something in Harry's wand?
There's something in everyone's.
Yeah, everyone's wand has something.
Oh.
But it's like when I don't know if you remember, but when he first is getting his wand, he's trying out and these things are like not working right. And he's like, this isn't right. That one's not right. This is the one for you. And the reasoning he picked that one, he had a hunch. He's like, this wand had a sister wand and that was Voldemort's wand. So he's like, maybe because you're so well known because of that relationship, this wand will agree with you, and it did. So, take that for whatever. I don't know.
Does it ever say what's in his wand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
forgot
like
what it
Phoenix
was.
feather and a bunch of other shit. I don't know.
Does it say what's in Voldemort's wand?
The same stuff.
Okay.
It's made of the same stuff. It was just like they're connected because they were made of the same wood and all that shit. But yeah, that stuff does go into. So you would have been on the same page as Jacob.
I feel like I don't know. Like I don't know. I would customize wands. Like I would do it where you can always obviously have a different wand, but like everyone's end game is to get like a specific one they want, like or make it a specific way they want to. You know, like
Maybe what would be cool is like you have your wand, and that's you make.
yeah, like
that.
a starter wand.
You just have
No?
like a
Okay.
wand that just a wand. It could be. You could get another one later, depending on like your personality, your change your specialty. Maybe like this other wand is more in tune with herbology or whatever. But I think what would be cool is like if you strengthen your use of magic or your connection with magic to a point, you can. There's a state you can reach with a wand, a connection. Like let's say there's like cable connect, like Wi-Fi connection. Like imagine that that internet connection.
So
is
it's a
the- is
weak
the
signal.
strength. It's like a weak to moderate signal, but there's a state of mind that you need to be in order for you and the wand to be at like fiber connection. And that would be cool. Like that's just, I'm giving an example of like how strong a connection could be. But the stronger you make a connection with your wand, that's solely dependent on like how good of a wizard or witch are you. That'd be cool. Good idea.
Just don't have an umbrella one.
My next topic for next week is what would you have in your wand?
I'll show you mine if you show me yours. It's one of my favorite lines in the movie. All right. Guys, where can people find you?
They can find me at the Fulio365 on Instagram, and then the Fulio all other social media.
You could find me in Stardew Valley at the Last Bosses everywhere.
Darsu.
You can find me at Cause Your Prime. You can find us all at the Weekly DLC. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you've enjoyed all 87 other episodes. We've been around for a while. We thank you all for being with us up to this point.
Please sponsor us.
Yeah, and talk to us if you want to be a sponsor.
Blue Apron. Call us.
And yeah, just want to say thank you to anyone who's been listening, who continues to listen, or who's a new listener. Yeah. So with that, we'll
DLC.
You later.